July is one of the hottest months of the year, and here now sponsoring our segment from Experience Champaign-Urbana is Terry Reefsteck. She has a few ideas to help us keep cool during these hot summer months. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you, Ryan. It's good to be here.
Always happy to have you. Always excited to learn about what's going on in the area. Let's start with getting out on the water.
Yeah, so I think being in landlocked central Illinois, people don't often think about getting out in the water here, but we've got some great opportunities. Out in Mahomet, you can get out on the Sangamon River with Kingfisher Kayaking. They lead guided kayaking tours down there, so it's a great way to get out kayaking if you haven't done it before, you don't have your own kayak. You could also head over to Lake of the Woods, where they have an accessible pier that has both kayaks and canoes that you can rent, which is a great way to spend your afternoon. And then just a little bit further south of us in Sullivan, where Lake Shelbyville is, you can get out on the lake with a speedboat if you have that, or they have a great kayaking trail down the Kaskaskia River. So that's always fun to check out.
I've never heard of that,
Yes.
kayaking trail.
Yeah, so there's actual specific points where you're supposed to kind of hit along the way, and it leads just down the Kaskaskia River right into Lake Shelbyville.
Because it's definitely too hot to hike.
I think
better to
so.
do it out on the water.
Yes, splash
That's
some water
my personal
on yourself.
opinion.
Yes, definitely.
People might differ with me on that.
Yeah.
Now, there's also some places where you can get some paddle boats.
Yes, Crystal Lake Park, right here in town.
Just great for the kids.
Yeah, it's a great way to spend a couple hours, get out, go to the park, get out on the river there, and then you can also segue into our next part where we're talking about getting on the water, head over to Crystal Lake Park to do some swimming.
Right, so we were talking about getting on the water, but
Yeah.
if you want to get in the water,
Yes.
Crystal Lake Park is a great choice.
Yeah, right there in Crystal Lake Park. That is one of my favorite places. It's got some cool attractions for a pool that are a little bit different. They've got that cool climbing wall that I absolutely cannot do myself, but it's fun to watch people try to get up there and slip off.
And if you fall, you just go right into the water.
And it feels great. And then, of course, at Sholem and Champaign, they've got the Lazy River, which is really nice. Quite a few water
It's more
slides.
my speed.
Yeah.
Lazy River.
Same. Yeah. So a lot of great ways. And then, of course, all of our surrounding communities have pools. So go, maybe off the beaten path a little bit if you want a little bit less of a crowd.
And every pool has a little bit of a different flavor.
Exactly.
So it's fun to check them all out.
Yeah. So a lot of great ways to stay cool in the water as well.
All right. Another way to stay cool. And this is maybe one of my favorites, eating ice cream.
Yeah, it's the best way to stay cool, in my opinion. Yeah, we've got some contentious ice cream favorites in town. Of course, Jarling's is a longtime favorite here in town. Personally, I think nothing says summer more like a lemon custard from Custard Cup. So that's a great place to go if you're looking for that ice cream. Now with 4 locations in Champaign County, the main scoop has Mahomet, Rantoul, Urbana, and Monticello, where you can go and get their homemade waffle cones and their gourmet ice cream. And also on the list for a lot of people is Cinny Dairy Barn. They have a flavor of the day, so it gives a lot of people opportunities to just excuse to go back day after day to try the different flavors.
Now, I would say which one is my favorite, but the truth is they are all my favorite.
Yeah,
I like all of those places.
I don't discriminate on ice cream. Yeah.
Now, we got about a minute left. Let's talk about some of the entertainment that's happening this summer.
You can stay cool in air conditioning by heading down to Sullivan for the Little Theater on the Square. They've got some great shows going on right now on Golden Pond, and then it goes right into the school House of Rock, which will be a great show. A new event is happening this July 13th called the Iliac. It's happening in Hessel Park, and it's going to be a really kind of a high-end performance with a symphony that will be performing under the stars, so that's a great opportunity to check out. And last but not least, we cannot miss Historic Farm Days happening in Penfield. Just acres and acres of historic farm equipment, lots of demos, great food, great opportunity to kind of see where we used to be in terms of agriculture to where we are now.
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
Yes.
Ways to stay cool, ways to have entertainment while staying cool. Thanks for the list. If you want to check out all the information on these things that Terry has mentioned that's happening, we're going to connect you over at ciliving.tv. We do appreciate Experience Champaign-Urbana for sponsoring our segment today.